So this is a installation of the Oxford heated grips here. So it has the wiring, got the two grips. This is the controller, version 8, so the most latest one. So there's the fuse there. And then you have the bracket, and you have the zip tie and the super glue. So the installation of the heated grips will be on the 2012, or was it 2011 Kawasaki Versys 650. And this has the stock grips right now. And in order to install it, we have to remove the seat and the fairing on the left side so we can run the wires from here down to the battery. So we'll start off by removing the seat. This is the 4mm hex key. One. Just pops off with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one screw. Very easy. This should just come off now. There you go. So that looks like it slides forward. That's a catch right there. So it slides forward, and we have 2 of these catches in there and 2 screws. Okay, so there is the parts we've taken off, and this is where the battery sits. So the battery, and I'm going to run the wires up along this left side of the tank. So the stock bar ends are on very tight with a 6mm Allen wrench. So I have my 6mm Allen wrench here, but it's this bicycle toolkit, so I have to use a pipe wrench to get more leverage because it's very, very tight. I've already loosened this a little bit, but as you can see, it's still very tight. That was harder than I thought. So it looks like they used a yellow Loctite. That's why it was so hard to take the bar ends off. But once it comes off, it's yellow Loctite. That explains it. So you can see the bar end goes in right there. And then we have to take off the handlebar. So I will take off the other side now, but I won't video it. So this is the stock grips, and they're on here quite tight. You can see on here. You can see it's not glued in, but some people use a screwdriver, and they just put a screwdriver in here, and you work it around. And if you have a longer screwdriver, you can go in and you can get the grips off fully. But I don't intend to make use of it, so I'm going to cut it off. So we can just cut it like that, and then we'll peel this off. So just be careful. There we go. It looks like they also put some adhesive on the bars here to make the grip stick. Okay. So this is your throttle side. There is a tube on the inside here which allows the grip to rotate. So be careful when you're cutting it. I believe the tube is made of plastic. So once again, you can also remove it with a screwdriver. There you go. So plastic tube, careful not to cut it. Okay, so these are the grips. One goes on either side. You can see that one has a larger diameter than the other because the larger one goes on the throttle tube side here like that. And then the smaller one goes on this side. Looks like Kawasaki put some kind of glue and it's made the bar a little bit thicker. So I'm going to just take some sandpaper like this and I'm just going to sand it down to get rid of the so I have to use the sandpaper to get the glue off this side a little bit too, and I find that the plastic tubing is just a little bit too big almost. Let me dry fit. Yeah, it's getting there. Just near the end there, and then we will use the super glue to make sure it sticks. Okay, so protect the paint from the super glue. I did a dry fitting on here, so this is it, moment of truth. So we're going to put a ring around there. Alright, so line it up to where I had it fit. And then do it like that. And when they say it bonds in seconds, they aren't kidding. It literally bonds in seconds. So there you go. Okay, so this has been the most difficult part of the installation so far. It's fitting this onto here. Now we've removed not just the powder coating on there, that was the glue, and then there was powder coating on top of that too. And then even then, it was still really hard. So I had to use a combination of a file and sandpaper. And now it's still really tight. It's still really tight, but I think we're gonna do it. It's always apprehensive to think once the glue sticks, because on the other side you could really feel the glue starting to stick very quickly. So here again we will just protect the bike with some cloth, and then point of no return. That and oh, you can feel the glue just grabbing onto that. Whew, there you go. Nearly pushing the bike over in the process, but it was really tight, and I think that was the hardest part of the whole installation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just reinstall the bar ends on there, and you can torque it down. You can check the manufacturer's specifications, and then when we come back we will do the wiring. So we have wired the red and the black, and then here I have the controller, and then I've run the wires here. I'll show you. Run the wires down the harness on both sides, and so now I have here everything. I'll turn this off. It's getting dark. This took longer than expected for sure. So it's quite simple. We have, this is from the controller, and this is from either grip, and they just plug into the harness like this. The red and white ones go for the grips, and the red and the black is to the battery. So that's very important. One. And you'll have to tidy up the wiring on your own. There are zip ties that are supplied. But for now we will plug everything in, and then we will test it. So if you come around this side, there you go. 30, 40, 50, 75, and 100. So let's just put it at 50. Actually, let's just start it up. So just in that short little while, the grips are already a little warm. And this is got an auto shut off as well. But you press minus all the way down and it'll turn off. But otherwise it's actually getting warm. It's cool. I have the wires all nicely tucked away. It runs along the side of the bike on the left side. And there it is. All bundled up nice and neat in there. And then we have some slack on either end, especially on the throttle side. I can adjust that. And here's the controller. Double-sided tape on the center there. I use the tape in case I want to change the position. I can always change it. And yeah, I'll button her back up together, and there we go.